to reflect the divided states of America into the republic which is fought.
We are the united hate division, where everybody shouts their own opinion. Too dumb to know when to shut up. Proud of a system that fucks us. You are the united hate division, in prison for every single bad decision. It's fucked up, get locked down or pay up. Proud of a system that fucks us.
All right, I've got Stef with an F up from City of the Week. This is their new single, United Hate Division. And let's bring up Stef. I want to ask her a little bit about this video. Stef, thank you so much for being on Soundwaves. How are you?
Great, thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this video. What was the inspiration for United Hate Division?
The inspiration for the song, obviously, United States is super duper divided. It's been divided for the last probably, I'd say, 5-6 years as far as just politics and views. And it's just been a little bit of train wrecky. So that's the word I always use. And it's just kind of a little bit bullshit. Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's just kind of bullshit because I found that it's really crazy that a lot of people kind of like posting from like either side. You know, we put this very hard line in America down the middle of like left, right, and we're trying to put like these billions of people in the world in two categories when it's like that it's not black and white, it's very gray. And I found that all these people sort of like shouting on Facebook and fighting with each other, we all kind of want the same thing for the most part. And so I thought it's just super foolish that we're just, instead of working together to actually like just live good lives, everyone's just butting heads. And so that's kind of where it stemmed from, and just saying that we all look dumb as fuck, do it like fighting with each other, and when we all want the same thing essentially. So that was the inspiration for it.
That's really great. Was there a moment where you were like, I'm writing a song, or like what happened? What was the impetus, as they say?
I don't think there was a moment. We actually co-wrote this one with Brandon Friesen. He's a producer that we go to in LA. And he started out with just riffing on guitar and whatnot. And it just kind of, I write all the time. So like I have just tons and tons like Word docs just full of words. And I kind of like, as I hear music, I kind of think back like, oh, like this would work for that. And I already had like pieces of this song written just throughout the couple of years, because this was written in 2019 actually. And over the last the years prior, I just kind of had all these words, and I was like, oh, that would fit perfectly for it. So then it was born.
What a time. You know, just hearing you say that just reminds me of what a head spinner 2020, the whole thing. Just, you know, yeah, the whole thing. And people being locked to the news and seeing the politicians and Black Lives Matter. And it was just it was the craziest thing. Yeah, it was the craziest thing. Where did you shoot the video?
We shot it in around St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Obviously various locations.
And, you know, I'm going to have this in the description, you know, the video, so viewers can see it. Really well done. I got a lot out of it, and consider me a new fan. Really, really great stuff.
Thanks, man.
You guys have a similar sound. You probably hear this on occasion, but you have a similar sound to Stitched Apart, which you went on tour with. What was that like?
Yeah, it's been a long time. We toured with them 2014. We actually did 2 tours. We did Skeletor and the Hard On tour. It was fun. It was great. They took us lots of new places because we were still fairly new back then. So it was cool being out with them. And they came through Phoenix not that long ago, last month with Butcher Bean. So we hung out with them and got to see them for the first time in like 2 years or something crazy. So it was cool to see them again.
You guys have a lot of touring now. The band, the members of the band, the other 2, the bass player, the drummer, you guys met originally was it in Minneapolis where you guys came together? Where did the band come together first?
St. Paul, Minneapolis. There's a music school there called McNally, and that's kind of where I got my start. And Brent, the guitar player, he went to McNally as well. And then later on, we knew Rocky, the drummer, from school. So, but it wasn't until a couple of years after Brent and I had left that we like reconnected with him. And then Cody, he didn't go to McNally. He's actually from Rochester, Minnesota. and he was playing with a different band, an industrial band at the time, and that I was working merch for. So, and then we kind of connected. We started hanging out. We kind of like talking, and he was like, "Oh, you know, if you need a sub, like, I'm a big fan of your band. I like you guys." And I was like, "Oh, it's cool." And like the next day, then our bass player at the time, like, couldn't do a show. It was like a big show we had coming up, and so I call him like, "Yo, you said it, you know, if we need a sub." And then he just stuck. Like the other bass player had a band, and he was touring a lot, so he just Cody just came in and filled it up.
So you met them working merch, and then next thing you know, you're in a band together.
Yeah, Cody, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But
yeah.
he was familiar with a band that you were previously in, like you were in at the time when you were working merch for another band?
Well, I was working merch for them, but City of the Week was still going and touring. Like there was bass players before Cody. There was other people. There was other drummers. There was other guitar players. Like when you're a teenager forming a band, it just takes a while to figure out your sound, who you click with, like all that sort of stuff. So Cody didn't join until he was subbing 2013, and then really locked in after Disclosure 2014. So
wow, you guys have been together a while. So this is your band primarily.
Yeah. But I mean, everyone that's in it now, we scaled down a guitar player like 6 years ago now, but Brent joined 2013, so he was around the first record, like pretty much from the start. And then Cody came in 2014, and then Rocky drummer was 2016. So it's been a while. I mean, 2016 to me feels like yesterday, but in reality, it's like, holy shit, that was 5 years ago. So we definitely are very familiar with each other.
So time goes by fast when you're busy with a lot of different things. What's your day to day? Like what are you juggling in your life?
What am I not juggling? Would be a quicker question. Well, I actually just started a new job. I've done a lot of freelance social media, freelance marketing, advertising for rock bands, record labels, management companies, and I'm actually now an account manager for Be More Social. It's a social media company based out of the UK and LA, and they're expanding more in America. So I actually have a client now that I'm the day-to-day for. It's a more high-profile client in America, and that's pretty cool. So I just started doing that. That kind of opportunity fell in my lap a couple weeks ago. So still pretty new with that. So, but dealing with the UK office, they're like leaving as I'm like waking up. So I start sometimes like 7 a.m. doing my phone calls or whatnot, whatever it is. And I want to make sure that social media stuff gets taken care of early. I also work at a swim club called Lilo. It's an outdoor pool at a hotel. So I do, service work, obviously, and which is really cool. It's awesome to be outside and, swimwear and hang out, and it's warm and I get exercise. I love that. So I do that. Then usually in the mornings. So I start, 7 a.m. to whenever, do social media stuff. 9 a.m. I'm usually there till 3, then at School Rock, 3 to 3:30 at School Rock until about 8:30. And then I do band stuff. I work with a couple management companies and doing like, right now I'm transferring a whole label catalog that was bought, which is like thousands of songs, into like Sony's database, Ingroove's database. So doing song by song, record by record is taking up a lot of time, but it's great. I enjoy the work. And I also run a clothing line called Hateful. And so I I'm like booked solid to the brim of like, because then I'm writing a record as well. I've done co-writes. We're trying to record. We obviously tour and play shows. So there's like, I literally am like from 7 a.m. to like 1 a.m. It's just like,
wow.
Yeah. So that was a mouthful, but you asked for it. And
that's awesome. No, it's exciting because, artists you've got to juggle. I mean, lucky are the few who just are living the rock and roll dream, and they've got a tour, and then they have time off, and they're snowboarding or or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and you're like really busy, and what are you teaching? You're at School of Rock. You're teaching there.
Yeah. I teach primarily voice and keys is kind of my passion. I have a class there as well. And I do a lot of my students. I prefer a lot of the high school and adult students is kind of like what I'm really good at. And so some of them I have like songwriting that we'll do. Some are like more production based, like helping. I have one adult, well, I guess finishing high school right now, and he's like doing an album right now. So it's more like production, like writing theory, kind of whatever. Some of my students, it's like whatever they need that day. I'll do also like beginner guitar, beginner bass, stuff like that. I've helped like even students to like get their band off the ground with like social media stuff. So
Really?
kind of, I'm like one of those teachers that's like, what do you need in life? Like, what's actually going to help you like right now? Because I mean, I understand, especially a lot of like high schoolers and adults, like life is hectic and like it's not just singing every single week or just doing the curriculum based whatever you want to call it isn't always like what they actually need. So I'm like, what do you need? Like, what do you know, and sort of go that route.
Wow. That's the social media thing. What is it that, wow, you know, two things that kind of got me spooling with this is the Sony catalog as well as working with this company for the social media scenario. Just real quick, like are you just promoting artists? You're doing the work for them on this social media.
Every client's going to be different. So our bass player of City of the Week, he runs a film company, media company. He does like design, photo, video, whatnot. And a lot of them were asking them like, hey, he would have these really great videos or photos or whatever it is, helping tour flyers even. And people, they would be like, well, how do we like promote it? How do we get people to see it? Because a lot of bands are a lot small, like they're smaller. And so I would just give them like tips and tricks and like, hey, I'll help you with this, help you with that. And then they were just like, hey, I'll pay you to like do this, I'll pay you to do that. And it just kind of like fell in our lap. It's one of those things. It's like the skills that we needed to develop to get our band where we are and to continue our band are just the skills we're both using to help foster this community of musicians out there right now. So it's kind of like what they need. Like some bands, I'll do like a flat rate a month of like, I'll do all your social media posts. I'll do like a growth package for them, like literally whatever they need. Other people, it's like a percentage of like advertising, doing YouTube ads, tour promo, working with bands in town. Like it's just kind of all like, what do you need? Just kind of like with the lessons thing, like where are you at? Are you on a tour? Are we doing a release? So that's kind of where that is. Be more social that I just account manager job I just got. That's super new to me. So I'm not sure exactly what more my role will be. So I know I'm doing the day-to-day for a client in America. So that's kind of where I'm starting with it. And we'll see where that goes.
Wow. Just a box full of stuff.
Literally.
You're like a turnkey. I mean, I'm going to talk more about the band and the video and your second album that this song is a part of, right? And but man, I mean, where do you go for your downtime?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my, no meditation or?
No, I mean, with the pandemic though, it actually was kind of nice as far as like it forced me to like stop. Like touring wise, we did 27 tours in like 7 years, 8 years maybe. So it was like, even we'd be trying to do an album, we'd be trying to record music or write, and we're just on the road constantly. It was hard to get anything done because we're just trying to do everything at once because we have such a small team. And it was just hard. It was impossible. So it kind of forced me to like slow down and be like, hey, we need to pay attention to your personal life. You need to like, connect with the people that you're connecting with, like that you're friends with, that are your team, like on a friendship level. You need to slow down. You need to find what you like to do for fun. Life is not 100% about work. And that was a really hard pill to swallow, but it definitely allowed me to sort of spend time with my dog, to lay by the pool, to drink wine, to go hiking and stuff like that. So, I mean, I like that kind of stuff, but since my work is so constant and super stressful, any downtime I would get, I like to relax. I like to sit and just sit with my dog. I don't know. I'm pretty chill.
Pretty chill. Where did the name City of the Week come from? What does that mean?
So, a city of people who are weak. It just kind of means that alone we're weak, together we're strong. we're all weak, but if we can come together as a city, we can do whatever we want to do, you know.
Would you consider yourself an activist?
In a way, I mean, that's the goal. I don't want to like put that title on myself. I hope so. I hope people think of me that way. Our band used to do a lot with animal rights activism.
Oh, wow.
We've two of us are actually vegetarian, and we've done a lot of work back in Minneapolis, doing just promoting like vegetarian stuff. We did a lot of rescue efforts and promoting. We worked with Animal Rights Coalition. We were actually one of their first coalition partners. City of the Week was as a band, and
Wow.
we helped ban the sale of new fur in Minneapolis. And we actually learned recently, it wasn't too long ago, the last fur store actually closed there because fur sales, obviously, when you could sell old fur, but you couldn't sell like any new, like the new stuff that was coming, like obviously like in a thrift shop, stuff like that. Like you could still sell that, but like it was like new items. So obviously the new fur shops, like they couldn't get anything in. So it was cool to kind of put the nail in that coffin and see them get out. Because just by doing that, helping get rid of that, it was saved 10,000 animal lives a year, which that's a lot if you think about it, you know. So we did that. We would go out every weekend and get people to sign petitions, and worked with. I worked with some government body. I can't remember. This was years ago, doing the Howling for the Wolves, stopping the wolf trapping and stuff like that. So we try. We do the best we can. We love animals, so. Definitely like our big thing.
Are you still doing that? Are you doing that in the Arizona area?
I haven't done anything yet. It was COVID, so I just didn't really think that it was possible as far as like activism, like outreach, because people are supposed to stay inside and not interact.
Yeah.
And then it's been literally hectic since we came out of COVID. And so I would love to get back into it if I have, you know, a little bit more time, but I definitely want to get involved more with the animal rights community here for sure.
Gee, where would you have the time to do it? You have to sleep at some point.
I know. I love sleep. I love all the sleep, but it's a far off pipe dream at this point.
So you're involved in a lot of things. If you had to pick one thing, or maybe I should word it this way because it sounds so pedestrian to ask that question. But where do you see? Oh no, I don't want to do that one either. I was going to say, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? But out of all the things you're doing promotion. You're kind of a turnkey operation with the social media, band, film. There's a lot of stuff that you have going on. Mm-hmm. If you could pick one, what would you want to be living?
Obviously, my band is number one. Playing music is number one. Always will be number one. I think though everything else kind of supplements that, like teaching. Obviously, I get better as a musician by teaching, and I can use my music to help people. That's kind of always what the goal was, is like being able to play music and helping people with it. I'm able to do that through teaching, of course, and change lives and see them go on to make careers in music. And then also like social media, advertising, helping other bands. Like we're helping foster a whole scene of up and coming bands and see them get successful and get opportunities because of some of the things we've done for them. But I wouldn't be good at that if it wasn't for my band. I did all of that stuff just because I had to for my band. I never wanted to be like, oh, social media, that's my passion. It was like, I kind of had to learn how to do it for my band. Everything was I learned and know how to do is because I had to get good for my band. And then it just sort of became like, oh, I really like this. I like this, you know. Wow. I'm a workaholic. So I love just getting in there and working hard and setting goals and reaching them. So
what are some upcoming tours that you have with the band?
Yeah, we start. Actually, nothing's been announced yet, so I can't even talk.
Oh, you can't say anything. All right, that's good.
We're opening both tours. We have 2 tours. That's all I can say. We're opening for both. We'll start one in February, and then we start another one in either March or April. So, but they should be announced soon. We're already starting to gear up for it. So be on watch for that. Yeah.
So you guys got to subscribe to City of the Week's video. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Yeah. Check out the website. Really great website. You're sponsoring PRS guitars and all this other stuff. And, the work's really paying off there. the one thing I wanted to say about the band is like the several videos that I've watched so far before, having you here, you have a message and you believe your message and you're really behind it on stage. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. What is the primary message that you're getting out there with your lyrics?
Yeah, so I would say like our primary message would be just making sure that people know that they can have the life they want and they should go and get the things that they want to do. It's like, I love hearing from people. We've actually heard the story a few times from people, and it literally just makes my heart so happy. It just warms my stone cold heart a little bit when people say like, I was listening to your music, like I go to a job every single day that I hate, and I've listened to music, and usually it's a particular song or two that people really latch on to, and they're like, listening to your music and hearing your story and like talking to you at a show or whatever it may be encouraged me to quit my job or quit college or quit whatever it is, and just do my dream of so and so, of whatever it may be. And I know that sounds horrible. Like, we've literally had people be like, I dropped out of college because you inspire me to. People are like, I'm sure parents are like, oh my God, what are you doing? But like, it's cool. It's cool that it's not like they're dropping out of college or quitting their job to like sit around and do nothing. It's like they want to pursue a different career. They want to pursue one gal was cosmetology school. She's like, I hated college. I hated it. But cosmetology school is my dream. And you guys were the reason that inspired me to pursue that. And they're super duper happy. And then, other people just quitting corporate jobs for whatever it may be. So that's pretty cool to me. Like, that's kind of the main thing I want to get across.
That's inspiring.
Yeah,
that's course. Better than somebody saying, you ruined my life,
Right. Yeah.
Get back here. That's phenomenal. Well, I'm really inspired by everything you're doing, even more so now. And so for the viewers here, check out the video. I'm going to end up with the video, and check out the website. Everything's in the description. Stef with an F, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks
and
for having me.
I'm going to play the video, but hang out for a second before you go, okay? Here we go. United Hate Division. Here we go.
We are the United Hate Division, where everybody shouts their own opinion. Too dumb to know when to shut up.